Hey, fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to our Philadelphia Eagles news and rumor video as we are jumping into the official 53-man roster. It's out. It came out literally 5 minutes ago. We have all of the cuts. We're going to go through each and every single one and then show you what the actual roster is going to go ahead and look like. Keeping in mind that 15, 16, roughly that number of these guys who are cut are going to be signed back to the practice squad. We'll talk about that probably in a later video this week. So we jump into the offensive cuts and we'll just work our way through offense and then defense. Nick Mullens, Jordan Howard. We're going to stop there. That's kind of the focus here as we get through the first two and we immediately stop here. Jordan Howard was let go, which is a big surprise to me. I had my final roster. I thought he was going to be the fourth running back on this roster. Philadelphia goes with 3 running backs in the end, and I don't know if they re-sign him back to the practice squad either. They might just let him go, which is, again, a massive surprise because everything we've heard is that Howard had a very good training camp. So this is a shock to me, but it's not the only shock that's coming, as there have been a lot. We'll talk more about those in a second. Go back to our list here. You got Jason Huntley, the running back. Obviously, if you're not going to keep Jordan Howard, Huntley's not going to be there. Elijah Holyfield was let go as well. He had a decent camp, but again, if you're going to keep 3 running backs, then you're not going to go ahead and keep Elijah Holyfield. Look for him to come back on the practice squad. Moving to the shock of the day, and that is Travis Fulgham is not there. He was cut, which is crazy, but it also goes to show just how bad Travis Fulgham was the entire offseason. He wasn't good. And this was never like close. He was not good the entire offseason. The 4-game stretch last year is starting to look like a mega fluke instead of what we actually thought he could go ahead and do going into this season. There are reports that he's going to re-sign with Philadelphia if he clears waivers from a practice squad perspective, but Fulgham does not make the roster. And again, if you were at practices or talked to people who were, he never really shined, and there were a lot better receivers already on the current depth chart. John Hightower, obviously, Fulgham didn't make it. Hightower did not either. He did nothing in kick return and really nothing from a wide receiver standpoint. He was let go. I'd be surprised if he's re-signed on the practice squad, but it could happen. Andre Patton and Mark and Mitchell are both not going to be there. Not a big surprise. Richard Rodgers did not make the roster here, but look for him possibly to sign back based on what they do with Tyree Jackson. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later, but he marks the 10th player as we keep rolling through here who was let go around 4 p.m. Eastern time. They let go of another tight end, and Angeline. They let go of Sua Opeta. I thought he was going to be on the roster. He is not. Look for him to be signed back. That's my opinion. Ross Pierschbacher, he is let go as well. Love Raven Clark, no surprise there. And Kyoto Awosike, I think is how you say his last name, was let go from an offensive line perspective as well. Raekwon Williams, I thought had a decent training camp. I think he's going to be re-signed at the D-tackle spot to the practice squad, but he was cut today. Not a massive surprise there because Milton Williams played so well from a rookie standpoint, but I thought that Williams had a chance, a slight one, to make the roster, but only with 53. He was let go. Hassan Ridgeway, a veteran, kind of, in Philadelphia, been in the past couple of years, he was let go. Matt Leo was let go, but the international player pathway likely means he's going to come back on the practice squad from a DN perspective. And then finally, Jaquan Bailey from a DN standpoint was let go as well. In the linebacking core, Rashad Smith was let go. How about Jacoby Stevens, the rookie linebacker out of LSU? I thought it could make the roster in an initial one we did a couple of months ago, or a month and a half ago. He does not. There were too many linebackers. Obviously, the signing of Eric Wilson had a big impact on that. Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley had both very good training camps, so they let go of Jacoby Stevens. He will, though, based on everything that I've heard, come back as a practice squad guy if he clears waivers. Kayvon Seymour, he's gone. Craig James, no surprise there, he's gone. Michael Jacquet, he's gone as well. Thank goodness. Not a big Michael Jacquet fan. And then how about Andrew Adams, one of the first signings Philadelphia had from Tampa Bay? He did not make the roster. It's mainly due to the fact that they went ahead and made some moves at the safety position. Graylin Arnold is let go. He's a personal favorite of mine. Covered him at Baylor. I think he'll be a practice squad guy as well. He's been a practice squad guy pretty much his entire career the past couple of years coming out of Baylor, but I do think the depth at safety shows here why they let go of both Adams, Arnold, and then finally wrapping it up on Elijah Riley. So those are your 27 plus players who were let go today, right at the trade at the cut deadline. Philadelphia did not waste any time today, or really, they took a lot of time, but right as we hit 4 o'clock, everything was officially in and done. Okay, name a player the Eagles should keep. Right? Is there a name on this list they should have kept? I mean, Fulgham is going to be a guy that's moved around a lot, potentially being brought back from a practice squad perspective. Is there another name on here the Eagles should have kept? Let me know down below in the comments section. Before we go ahead and get into the actual depth chart quickly, Philadelphia did make a trade today. You might not have seen this, but they were going to let go of Matt Pryor, and instead were able to flip him to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2022 6th-round draft pick. They also sent a 7th next year to Indianapolis. So they get rid of the guard tackle, kind of hybrid, more of a guard in general. They were going to cut him. He wasn't going to make the roster, but they were able to swing him for a 2022 6th-round draft pick. So, in my opinion, a solid move for the Eagles, who essentially get back the Gardner Minshew pick that they sent down to Jacksonville. It was like the 2022 6th or 5th, whatever it was, whenever they made that trade just the other day. All right, we're going to jump into the actual depth chart here, the way you kind of see where faces are going to go ahead and line up. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles Now. The whole point here, obviously, is that we are giving you guys the latest and greatest up-to-date stuff. I mean, it's 4:18 p.m. filming this, right, on the East Coast. So less than 20 minutes after, we're already jumping on here and filming this video and giving you guys the full update. So if you guys like that, go down below and subscribe. We have plenty more great videos like this coming up in the next couple of days and weeks. All right, the official 53-man roster, it's out. It can change. They can sign people. So this is not going to be guaranteed what it is week one, but it's going to be, 99% correct going into week one. Here's what it is as it stands today. Quarterbacks, of course, no surprise here. Hurts, Flacco, and Gardner Minshew. Minshew comes in as quarterback number 3. Don't be surprised if by the end of the year he's quarterback number 2, although as I keep saying, there is no quarterback controversy or battle. Hurts is the clear number 1 guy. Our first shock of the day, they only keep 3 running backs. We talked about the guys who were cut, Jordan Howard, obviously, was a surprise. Caleb Huntley was let go. Kerryon Johnson a couple of weeks ago. But Philadelphia has a lot of trust in Miles Sanders, and they love what they saw in Boston Scott and Kenny Gainwell. They were clearly the 2 best backup running backs. I thought Howard had a real chance to make this roster. Obviously, he did not. I was wrong on that. They keep 3 running backs, but we'll have some guys in the practice squad that they can go ahead and call up. Okay, they only kept 5 wide receivers. Before I get to that, though, how many wins do you guys have for Philadelphia this year? What do you think? What's your number for wins with the Philadelphia Eagles? Give me your comment in the comment section down below. I'm at 9 or 10. That's where I'm at right now. Very easy schedule. 31st easiest in the National Football League, or I should say, second easiest, 31st hardest in the National Football League. But give me your thoughts on how many wins for the Eagles here in 2021. Wide receivers, they keep 5. Smith, Reagor, Ward, Watkins. We knew that was going to be the case. I thought they'd keep Fulgham and Whiteside. Again, they let go of Travis Fulgham. They keep J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. They're trying it for one more year. I don't know if it's because he showed enough during training camp or because he's a second-round draft pick, but they're going to try the Whiteside experience one more time. From a tight end position, this is another surprise here. Goddard, Ertz, and Jackson, that all makes sense, and Jackson could go on IR to free up Richard Rodgers to go ahead and come back, but they keep Stoll in there, which is a surprise to me. I would have kept a running back instead of a tight end, but maybe that's some Ertz security in case they trade Zach Ertz before the NFL trade deadline. Offensive line, not a lot of shockers here. Mailata, Sayamalo, Kelsey, Brooks, Lane Johnson. Your backups are Dillard, Urbig, Driscoll, Toth, and Dickerson. So Toth beats out Urbig, I think, right there for, not Urbig, excuse me, he beats out Opeta to kind of be that final offensive lineman. Dickerson is at the bottom of the depth chart because he's been injured, but eventually he'll be up there as the backup center. Can play a little guard if he needs to at the same time. Okay, before we move over to defense, we shout out to our friends at BetUS and your chance to go ahead and bet on the Eagles. The week 1 over-under, and of course, the week 1 line is out right now against the Falcons. Falcons are favorites in this game. I'd take Philadelphia. Go to chatsports.com/Eagles bet. Use that promo code Eagles125 to get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Right now, again, Philadelphia is minus 3.5, or I said plus 3.5 against the Falcons. The Falcons are 3.5-point favorites, and the over-under currently sits at 48. You guys want to bet on this game, do with our friends at BetUS. Get that deposit bonus the way you can bet even more money and win even more money. That's essentially how it works. Okay, defensive line. Defensive ends are Graham Sweat, Kerrigan Barnett, and Teron Jackson. I'm glad Teron Jackson made the roster as the rookie. Your D tackles are Cox, Hargrave, Milton Williams. And it looks like right now, Tui Pulotu is going to make the roster. I always mispronounce his name. And T.Y. McGill is on the roster, but he's on the COVID-19 list right now, so that's something to keep an eye on going forward. Linebacker depth was a problem going into the year. It's not a problem anymore. Avery, Wilson, and Singleton look like they're going to be the starters, which is a little bit of a surprise because they like Jannard Avery a lot better more than I thought. Patrick Johnson, T.J. Edwards, Davion Tiller, and Sean Bradley are the other backups, but I think it's going to be kind of a linebacker by committee here at some point during the regular season. Now, which are you most excited to see in terms of the units? Offense or defense? I think I'm kind of leaning towards the offense because of Jalen Hurts, but this defense is going to be good. And people in Atlanta, let me just tell you that, I live in Atlanta, are doubting the Eagles' defense right now. They think Matt Ryan's going to throw all over Philadelphia, which is just ridiculous. So give me your pick on which unit you're more excited to see in 2021 offense, O for offense, or D for defense. Cornerbacks, no stock here. Slay, Nelson, Maddox, McPherson, and Scott are going to go ahead and be the 5. McPherson had a very good training camp, so shout out to him to go ahead. Not only, obviously, he was going to make the roster, but still, it was an impressive overall showing from him. Your safeties are going to be Harris and Epps, the 2 starters. McLeod has been cleared. He's been back at practice the past couple of days in very light format. Will he be ready to go for week 1? Not sure, but it looks like you're going to see Epps go ahead and be the starting safety at the safety position. Finally, we wrap it up here with our kickers and special teamers. Jake Elliott is going to go ahead and be your kicker. Sapas is going to be the punter. I mispronounce his name all the time, but I believe I got it right. Rick Lovato, your long snapper. Your kick returners will be Watkins and Gainwell, and then your punt returners are going to be Reagor, Smith, and Ward. They're going to move people around right there. I think Reagor is going to have the primary punt return responsibilities. There you go. under 10 minutes. We just jumped into the entire breakdown, all the cuts, 53-man stuff. We're going to keep an eye on the practice squad. Expect a lot of running backs, a couple of those wide receivers to make it back, offensive linemen as well. It's how the practice squad works. So some of the guys that were let go, like a Fulgham and a Howard, or maybe a Caleb Huntley could go ahead and come back as well. But overall, Philadelphia, I think, did a pretty darn good job, and the cuts are pretty similar to what I predicted yesterday on the show, although I missed a couple of things, as I said that I would. All time for today, we have for today on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm your host, Thomas Mott. We go ahead and sign off. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your day.